Kawasaki is bringing back the Ninja 300 out here on one of the last warm summer nights in Utah in my favorite lot. And while I get some practice in, I thought it'd be a good time to talk about that recent announcement of the Ninja 300 coming back to America. So for those that didn't see, Kawasaki recently tried to re-register for registration of the 300 in California. Although no official announcement has been made of the return of this bike yet, with this recent application, it's all but certain the Ninja 300 will be making its return in 2026 to the US market. So let's go over the facts we know about this bike. First generation Ninja 300 was launched in 2013 and ran all the way to 2017 until it was discontinued in the US market. However, when it was discontinued here, it still remained for sale in other countries. So with that being said, we know this bike is going to share some of the components of the bikes already being made elsewhere, if not all of them. The bike will have the same engine, the 296cc one that was in the previous model, producing 39 horsepower and 20 foot-pounds of torque. Sure, a lot of other components will be updated, like the display and whatnot. Hold on, let's hit a good roller and slow one down. We don't need to talk much about what the bike is because it's already pretty much out there from what we can tell. But really the big question for me is, why is Kawasaki bringing this bike back? So I think one reason Kawasaki may be bringing this bike back is because they have been doing the CC creep up of their beginner bikes. And what I mean by that is, let's look at the entry-level sport bike category for Kawasaki. Started with the 250, went up to the 300, the 400, now we're already up to a 500. Of course, that progression happened over a couple of decades. And I should have stated this earlier for people that don't watch my channel, because I know I'm talking about a gas sport bike right now, riding around on an e-moto. I actually owned a Ninja 500 and recently sold it. So although I've never ridden a Ninja 300, I have been on the 500, the 400, KLX 300. Obviously the KLX has a single cylinder, very different engine. But what I'm trying to say is I have been on a wide range of entry-level Kawasaki bikes, and I've owned one. So with that being said, I'm actually happy the CCs have been going up on beginner bikes, because the 500 is perfect for me. Personally, I think if I started on a 300, I might have been bored and kind of regretted it. But this 300 does serve a purpose and definitely has an intended buyer. And overall, I'm happy Kawasaki's bringing it back to the market. Because here's the fact of the matter. If you want a new entry-level sport bike in America, in 2025, there's not a lot of cheap options. Let's be real. When people think of the beginner sport bike category, they're thinking of Ninja 500s, CBR 500s, R3s, those type of bikes. And even though the MSRP of a lot of those bikes is like in the lower 5,000s, after taxes and fees, I mean, the lowest you're going to get out the door, a lot of these bikes is going to be like low 6s. And so from what I'm seeing over the past year or two, smaller CC sport bike sales are kind of hurting compared to previous years. But it's because who has an extra $6,000-$7,000 just to go throw in a weekend bike right now? I mean, sure, if you're using it for work or, transportation, but for a weekend toy, that's a lot of money. And so let's think about some of the cheaper options you could go with. I mean, if you want that sport bike look, you could go for the CF Moto 300. The Gixxer 250 is still out there. You can go with a mini moto like a Grom, Papio, Z125, something like that. So to me, this move is caused by Kawasaki looking at the market and saying, you know what, there's a need for this right now. We can make this bike. We already do make this bike. And let's be real, even though there's competition out there, this will probably be the best in class the second it launches. I guess the real kicker of this bike is what the price will be. I mean, if Kawasaki can keep this around the $4,000 mark, I think it'd be a huge hit, because this bike to me fills a gap in the market. The knee knockers are still so sketchy, but I'm getting them. So let's talk about the intended buyer of this bike and who Kawasaki is probably marketing this towards. So I think the first intended buyer of this is the beginner or the first time bike buyer on a budget. But I don't think it's only for beginners. I mean, if you're an experienced rider and you want something for the weekend or just like a track bike or, a second or third bike, I mean, with this price point, that could also be a great option for a lot of people. I mean, I really don't use my bikes for transportation all that much, but if I did, a 300cc for my commute and my daily life would be plenty. Now, are you going to be hitting nooners, winning races with this bike? No, but I think it's definitely enough where you can have a lot of fun with it. I mean, the Kawasaki lineup is undefeated right now, too. We got the Ninja 300, the ZX4, Ninja 500, Ninja 650, the ZX6, the ZX10, and the Ninja 1000. Or I think it might be an 1100 now. And they got the ZX14. So that lineup is crazy. When will the Ninja 300 be here? I'm not sure. It looks like it'll probably be spring next year. But 2026, we should have this bike in America. Hopefully Kawasaki has some like demo days nearby. I would love to go ride one if they do. But let me know your guys' thoughts. Are you excited for the Ninja 300? Do you want to buy a Ninja 300? But that's gonna do it for this one. Please hit that like and subscribe button, and I will catch y'all next video.